Yo, what up, Knicks fans? You're watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. We put a video out earlier on the channel because the Knicks, they made another signing and added somebody else to their two-way contract list. They currently have 4 players on that list. I already forgot. What was his name? Dylan Windler? Dylan Windler of, where was he from? Belmont. Not talking to producer Seeps. He was signed earlier today. If you want to know more about Dylan Windler, we broke everything you need to know down about him earlier on the channel today. So you can go check out that video in a little bit once this show is done. In today's video, though, in today's live stream, we're going to talk about Julius Randle because I haven't done much Julius Randle trade talk on the channel this summer, mainly because I don't think the Knicks are going to trade Julius Randle. And because of that, a lot of people think that I don't want to trade Julius Randle. But I do still think for the Knicks to get to that top of the top, to get to the mountaintop, I'm not sure Randle could be on this roster. So we got 3 or 4 Julius Randle trade destinations, couple of trade ideas. ESPN is also once again talking about Donovan Mitchell and the fact that he is not going to re-sign with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we're going to talk about that. And then instead of a mailbag today, we're going to do Knicks hot takes. I've got a couple of hot takes. I know you have a couple of hot takes. We'll talk about that. If you have a hot take and you want it to get on the screen, just comment it down below, but include hashtag Knicks in the comment section. We got a whole bunch to talk about in today's show. Let's get the comment section going, Seeps. Where are the real ones at? Where are they at?
Throw it back. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Real one roll call.
Let's say you had to throw something in there before you said that. That was crazy. Michael Vasquez says, I had to tell Tom Downey he ain't no Marshall Green. Tom Downey could never have a widow's peak like this. I'll tell you that much. That's for sure. If you're a real one, though, light up the comment section. Let's get a real one roll call going. You may be asking yourself, what's a real one? It's someone that always watches every single video we put out there. It's someone that always tunes in to the live show, like a lot of people I see in the comment section. You bleed orange and blue. You love the New York Knicks, and you're a sub to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. If you comment real one, I'm giving you a shout out. Shout out to And One Edits, Ahmed, Brian, S Teacher Planner, Robert Smith, Hulu Caesar says, Seeps, what's good, bro? Michael back to back. Michael Pons and Michael Vasquez, Dorian, Jet Life, 4 Life, Emmanuel, Future, Orbit, David Taylor. What's going on, David? And One Edit said, real one, how you doing? We're doing all right, man. We're doing all right. It's been a busy day. Knicks made a signing. Giants made a signing. We've been ripping and running in the studio today. Mike Boy says real one. So Real 13 says real one. Trey Green in the chat. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. On a Monday, nonetheless. Lorenzo Daquan Tillery said, loyalty is all I know. Hashtag let's go Knicks. Hashtag real one. And then Dave Manning in the chat saying real one. We'll see who's a real one, though, Seeps, with this next question. As we know, the Knicks signed Dylan Windler today.
Yes, they did.
Seeps, not one, but there are now 2 redheads on the Knicks.
I was telling Marsh, this might be the record in the NBA for most redheads signed in an offseason.
Who's to say Tom Thibodeau isn't a redhead?
That is true.
Could we have a redhead coach?
A little Irish in Tibbs. So everybody in the chat better be typing PS, but DD is also fine as well. If anybody types DW, I'm going to be upset.
I'm dead. Pick a redhead that you want to be a part of your crew. Is it Dylan Windler? Type DW. DD for Dante DiVincenzo.
PS's.
Or is it the undrafted free agent Patrick Seaman type PS?
I'm still unsigned. Listen, I'm like 6'2". I got a decent shot. Run about a 6 foot or a 6 flat 40 at this point. But I could step in there, knock down a couple threes.
I'm dead. Are you taller than 6'6"?
No.
That's all the Knicks fans want. They just want somebody taller than 6'6". Well, Windler was 6'8" in college, according to the program.
Yeah, Belmont had Windler at 6'8", and then he gets to Cleveland and he's 6'6". So a little weird.
Seeps, I'm looking at the chat, and there's a lot of people that would choose Dante DiVincenzo over you.
And that's okay. He is the only one that you guys can pick over me, but a little disappointed in
Yeah, some of these guys. I'm seeing some real ones say
Levi's.
DD. That's kind of messed up. Levi's the best, choosing DiVincenzo over Seatman. That's crazy.
It was hilarious. Marsh comes in the studio and he's like, pull up the weigh-in 3 graphic. I'm like, all right, let's see what this is. And this is the beauty he cooked up. I was dying laughing.
That's good stuff right there. And one edit says you're on track for an MVP season.
You know, if I just keep shooting the way I'm shooting the ball right now, I'm definitely going to be coming for that MVP trophy.
Whose game is yours closer to, Windler or DiVincenzo?
Oh, DiVincenzo. Yeah, way closer to DiVincenzo.
Oh, yeah. Michael says you got the best photo. That is Chris.
Yeah. Hey, Marsh, literally, I'm sitting in the chair right now. He comes in. Let me get a quick photo of you. Takes a photo of me, and then I see it on screen.
Oh, the organic says you're getting a 10-day.
Just give me a chance. That's all I want.
You just need one practice.
Tibbs would love
You would be a Tibbs guy.
Oh, I'm a Tibbs guy.
I'm freaking
We're getting
dead.
gritty. We're picking up 94 feet. Getting the ankle snapped.
God. Pick a redhead. If you're not rolling with Seeps, you are definitely not a real one. I know that for a fact.
Hell yeah.
We got 130 people watching, already up to 140 people watching, but only 26 likes. And that is a joke. I'm embarrassed. We might just shut down the stream. But if you are ready to start today's video, hit that thumbs up icon. We're breaking down the latest news and rumors. We got some Julius Randle trade ideas and trade destinations. Brian Windhorst and his crew, Tim Bontemps, as well as Tim McMahon, talked about the idea of Donovan Mitchell not re-signing with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then we got a new fun segment I want to try at the end of the show. Well, we're just talking hot takes. We do mailbags all the time. I wanted to try something different. So send in your hottest takes around the Knicks this season. Seeps, you lead it off. Mine I'll save for later in the show. What is your hottest take for the Knicks this year?
Ooh. All right, this one came to my head right away. Jaylen Brunson, first-team All-NBA. That is going to be my hot take. I think the Knicks are going to be the 3 seed this year. Jaylen Brunson goes for, let's say he goes for 27 a night on 4 boards, 6-7 assists. Incredible efficiency. He's your first-team All-NBA point guard.
I would not be mad at that at all.
And also, I will say this, Marsh, I'm picking the hot takes. So the hotter the take, you have a better chance to get on here. Obviously, if you super chat, you'll get on there anyways. But just hashtag Knicks.
Hashtag Knicks. If you want to get your hot take up on screen, we'll break it down. No one has submitted a hot take yet. And I'm a little bit disappointed at that.
Scared.
I don't know, says Grimes most improved. Have you
looking at the...
Chill, bro. Chill. That's mine. I've got And One Edits getting a hot take in there. That's spicy. Brunson gets MVP and carries the Knicks to a chip.
That is hot.
Michael Vasquez says DD has a better year than RJ Grimes and Quickly.
Wow, that's hot as well.
Get your Knicks hot takes in.
I love it.
Oh, Michael Pons, you gotta put hashtag Knicks, no space in the middle, just hashtag Knicks. Get your hot takes in. We got a whole bunch to talk about in today's show. If you could, though, hit that thumbs up icon. We got 150 people watching. If we get to 100 likes, I'm taking a shot at tequila. I'd love to take a shot at tequila. We do have a special super chat menu for today's show. We usually go live on Tuesdays, but we had a lot to talk about on a Monday, so we're going live today. Every $10 super chat, we'll take a shot. If you super chat at all, we're going to pop that up on screen. We're going to talk about it. If you send in a $50 super chat, though, I'm going to do a beer shotgun. If you send in a $100 super chat, you get your name added to the Boot Hall of Fame here at Knicks Now. We recently started the Hall of Fame of the Boot, and we got to get some more people on here.
Oh, yeah.
If we get to 500 in total, though, 500 in total today, I'm going to do a beer boot. That's 3 beers, 1 boot, 1 chug. Everybody knows the rules. So we're going to do that today. Get your hot takes in. Randy Hamilton says RJ will be an all-star.
I might pick that one just to see what Marsh would have to say.
If RJ's an all-star, the Knicks might be the best team in the East.
Honestly.
We are very critical of RJ, but he's also a guy that was picked number 3 in the NBA draft. He's got high expectations.
I mean, if he lives up to that.
I love this. I like this hot take. Everyone's getting their hot takes in. It's got heat.
Dennis has a good one.
Hot take, RJ Barrett is better than LeBron James. That's wild.
If it's too hot like
Yeah,
that,
it can't be ridiculous, but Seeps will be the judge.
Yeah.
Seeps will be the judge. Hit that thumbs up icon. 48 likes. Once we get to 100, we're taking a shot at tequila. So let's get to 100. But let's start it off with some Julius Randle trade ideas and destinations more so. But we got a couple of trade ideas in today's video. Let's get it started, though. Julius Randle trade destinations are on tap for today's video. But before we get rolling, I want to ask you this question. If you could only have one of these guys on the Knicks next year, who would it be? Type 30 for Julius or number 9 for RJ Barrett. Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. In today's video, I'm going to give you 4 places that I think Julius Randle could get traded if he does get dealt. So far this summer on the channel, I haven't talked too much about the Knicks trading Julius Randle because honestly, I think it's unlikely that he does get traded. But I wanted to go through some ideas of if they did move on from him, where it could be. Because a lot of people, I've been including RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and Quentin Grimes in some of my trade ideas because that's who I believe that other teams would want. And that's led people to believe that I love Julius Randle. I do love what he's done for the Knicks. But I do believe for the Knicks to get to where they want to be in the Eastern Conference, I don't know if Julius Randle can be on this basketball team. I say all that to say he's been absolutely great for the New York Knicks, specifically 2 out of the 4 years. I mean, this past year, he was one of the best players in the NBA, right? 25 points per game, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, really efficient. He was a third-team All-NBA member. We know he struggled in 2021 and 2022, but the year before that is when he was the most improved player, second-team All-NBA. The thing with Julius, though, that I know I'm frustrated with, and I know you're frustrated with, is the lack of playoff production. He gives you these all-NBA seasons, these MVP-type performances when it's the regular season. But in the playoffs, he's been unable to carry that same level of production, only averaging 16 points per game, 8 rebounds, less than 4 assists. And those numbers are fine. Like, if he gave me those numbers, but he was efficient, I'd be okay. But those numbers on terrible efficiency at 37% from the field and an atrocious 25.8% from deep, I just can't get in bed with that. My take overall, trading Randle only makes sense if you are getting an upgrade in the starting lineup. I used to be in the camp that just trade Randle, get him off this team no matter what. But I've grown up. I've matured. The widow's peak, it's got even better. And it's made me more wise. Randle's a good player. In fact, he's one of the best 35-40 players in the NBA. I mean, 2 All-NBA selections in the past 3 seasons. There's not a long list of players that have done that. So I understand how good and how important he is and how he sometimes can just win you stretches of games in the regular season. But if there is an upgrade to be made or a better fit to be made, I do think the right move would be trading Julius Randle. We got 4 trade destinations and a trade idea and some more stats and stuff coming up around the corner. But if the Knicks make a move, maybe it's surrounding Randle or they sign somebody else, we will break it down. So subscribe to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports for videos every single day on your favorite basketball team. Alrighty, let's dive into it. These are going to be in order, my Julius Randle trade destinations, in order of, I would say, most likely, or trades that I think would make the most sense. Most likely is probably the wording I want to use there. Number 1, the Philadelphia 76ers. And there's a couple of different trades that he could be involved in for going to Philly. Number 1, I could see him going for James Harden. I don't want James Harden on this team, but Woj has said that the Knicks have interest in Harden. I could also see him down the line being involved for a Joel Embiid trade. But the main guy that I think he could be traded for is Tobias Harris. If you have any friends that are Philadelphia 76ers fans like I do, Tobias Harris is their Julius Randle. They just want him off the team. They don't want him here anymore. He hasn't been able to be that perfect fit next to James Harden, Joel Embiid. They chose Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. What an L that was. But as much hate as he gets, he's a solid basketball player, man. Last couple of years, the points per game has gone down, but also his usage and his overall touches have gone down, but he's maintained that elite efficiency, which is something that I love about his game. Never shooting below 47% from the field each of the last 4 years, and never shooting less than 36.7% from downtown. He could play the 3, he could play the 4, and I think he'd be a seamless fit at the power forward spot next to Mitchell Robinson and R.J. Barrett. Not to mention the head coach for the New York Knicks, Tom Thibodeau. That guy, he absolutely loves Tobias Harris. He has gone on record time and time again speaking the praise of Harris. He did so last December and said this: I think you look at that team being the Sixers, and obviously Embiid and Harden are probably established, but I always thought Tobias Harris was one of the most underrated players in the league. I think it's also important to know that Tobias Harris is on a $39.2 million expiring deal, which means there's not a whole lot of risk in a trade like this. If the Knicks made the trade and Tobias Harris, the New York native, shit the bed when he put on the orange and blue, they can move off of him and get $39 million in cap space, which right now might not be useful, as the Knicks are pretty much close to that hard cap or right at that hard cap, but down the line, it can make some sense. We talked about this trade idea in the office, and when we put trade ideas on the show, they don't always come from my brain. Well, you might think they do because they look so good, but this one was a collective effort. What do you think about this trade? The Knicks get Tobias Harris. They get Furkan Korkmaz. What a name. Remember when he requested a trade? Yeah, that was wild. And 2 future second-round picks, and the Knicks give up Julius Randle and Evan Fournier. I'll ask you, would you make this trade? If Daryl Morey offered you, the general manager of the Knicks, this trade, to Tobias Harris, Korkmaz, and 2 second-round picks for Julius Randle and Evan Fournier, would you do the deal? Type A for accept, type D for decline. I want to hear from all the Knicks fans down in the comment section. I think the second most likely trade destination for Julius Randle, if the Knicks do move off of him, is the Toronto Raptors. Kind of like for the Philadelphia 76ers, he could be traded for a couple of different players. OG Anunoby is the first guy that comes to mind. We know the Knicks were interested in Anunoby dating back to the trade deadline and dating back to last offseason when I told you guys that the Knicks were interested in OG Anunoby. But the player I think that they could give up Randle for is Pascal Siakam. Siakam is a really, really good player, no doubt about it. Had his best season in the NBA this past year, but it doesn't sound like it's all peaches and cream in Toronto. Michael Grange, a longtime reporter of the NBA, said this: an interesting player to monitor as the NBA transaction market heats up is Raptors star Pascal Siakam. I keep hearing his name out there per multiple sources. So when I saw this, the question I asked to myself is Julius Randle better or worse than Pascal Siakam? Let's compare what they did this past year. Points per game, right about the same. Rebounds per game, I would say Randle is notably a better rebounder than Pascal Siakam. Siakam, though, he's got him beat on assists per game by 1.7 per night. I don't know if Siakam is just 100% a better playmaker than him, but the assist numbers, they show that. Field goal percentage, I would say Siakam is a little bit more efficient, but I would say that there's more diversity in Julius Randle's shot profile than Siakam, where Siakam just wants to get to the cup at all costs, and he's really a terror when it comes to defenses attacking from the free throw line down. And I think it's obvious that Randle is a much better jump shooter than Pascal Siakam, especially from deep. But when you talk about Randle, the shortcomings always get brought up in the NBA postseason. So I thought, you know what? If we're going to grade Randle on his postseason success or lack thereof, let's talk about Pascal Siakam and his. I went and totaled the last 3 postseasons that Siakam has played in for the Raptors, and he's played in 41 games in the playoffs. And in those games, he's given you 19 points per night, 7.2 rebounds, just about 3.5 assists, and he's efficient from the floor, no doubt about it, 45.1%. But like Randle, that 3-point percentage is brutal in the playoffs, and I have to ask and wonder, can the Knicks win a championship with a power forward that doesn't stretch the floor, considering their center, Mitchell Robinson, is not a guy that's an offensive threat whatsoever? I'll ask you, though, pick a player Who would you rather be the starting power forward for the New York Knicks, let's say this season? Maybe it was just a trade straight up, Randle for Siakam. Who would you rather have? Type JR for Julius or PS for Pascal Siakam. I think the third most likely Julius Randle trade destination is the New Orleans Pelicans. Unlike the 76ers and Raptors where the Knicks could trade Randle for multiple different players, there's only one guy that I would like from New Orleans, unless it was Brandon Ingram. Pelicans ain't giving up Brandon Ingram. Good old Zion Williamson. He's CAA. He wanted to be a Knick. The list goes on and on and on about why the Knicks could take a swing at Zion Williamson. But there are some major concerns with Zion, and I know that. I'm not saying I would do all of these deals. I'm just giving you my best thoughts on what the destination could be. We know that injuries are a problem from Zion. He's missed a whole lot of games. No doubt about that. I think it's just wasting oxygen at this point to talk about how Zion Williamson is an injury-prone player. But, man, when that guy's on the hardwood, when he's playing basketball and he's locked in, he's one of the best young players in the NBA. But as we know, the best ability is availability. But when he was available in that 2020 season, averaging 27 points per game when he played almost all 72 games, the dude was one of the best power forwards in the league and one of the best, brightest stars the association had to offer. 27-7, almost 4 assists, 61% from the field. The thing that I would say with Zion is you got to be worried about the injuries. You also have to be worried about the immaturity. And you have to wonder if he is a guy that is dedicated to ball and he wants to do everything it takes to be one of the best players in the NBA. I don't know the answer to that. And I would be very worrisome if the Knicks traded for Zion. But I do know this. If the Knicks are going to take a swing for the frickin' fences like the bases are loaded. Don't go swinging for someone cheap. Go swing for Zion Williamson and see if you can risk it for the biscuit. We've got one more trade destination to break down when it comes to Julius Randle. But first, you guys need to get hooked up with our awesome brand new black Knicks Now Real One t-shirts. Rep Chat Sports, rep Knicks Now, and rep the squad, the New York Knicks. Right here, chatsports.com/realknicks, and save 20% off by using the promo code SummerVibes20. That link's in the comments and description of today's video. The last place that I could really see Julius Randle being traded to is the Minnesota Timberwolves. And obviously this one would be for Sir Purr, a.k.a. Karl-Anthony Towns, Big Cat. I don't want Karl-Anthony Towns on this team. I think that Julius Randle is a better player than Towns. I know I'm probably in the minority there, but I also don't know if this guy, is this a Fetty guy? I don't think that Julius Randle's a Fetty guy, but do I want to trade a non-Fetty guy for a non-Fetty guy? And what do I mean by a Fetty guy? Can I see this face with an NBA championship hat on it, and he has confetti falling on him in Madison Square Garden? I don't get that vibe from Sir Purr. When you talk about the two players, though, and who is the better guy, let's look at last year. Karl-Anthony Towns played in less than 35 games due to injury, so I don't think this is the best case scenario to decide who's the better player, but I think it's always good to look at numbers side by side. Where the arrow does swing, though, to Karl-Anthony Towns' favor is how he's been more effective and more efficient in the playoffs. Points per game for both these guys in the playoffs, though, go down a good bit. 18.6 for Cat, 17.1 for Randle. Rebounds per game about the same. I would honestly say they're both subpar defenders. I think Randle has a little bit more versatility to his defensive game because he can guard guys on the perimeter a little bit better. I think he's stronger, has a better base, and can move laterally a little bit better. But Cat has at least been efficient in the playoffs, shooting 47%, while, as we know, Randle is one of the least efficient playoff players of all time. Outside of the part that I don't think Cat is a Fetty guy and a winner and someone that I would call a foxhole guy, another reason I don't want him is because he's one of the most expensive players in the NBA, and I don't think the guy is worth $50 million next year, and I definitely don't think he's going to be worth $62 million in 2027 and 2028. But the things to like about Cat, he's a big power forward. I would say he's a very skilled offensive player. He could shoot the long ball at a better clip and efficiency rate than Julius Randle, and the Knicks could have more spacing on their offense, as I would say Cat kind of operates more on the perimeter, and he's a better pick-and-roll player. So you could go either side. Who's better? I'm going to roll with Julius Randle. I'll ask you, though, Who is the better hooper? Is it Randle? Is it Cat, a.k.a. Sir Purr? I just can't have anyone on this team with the nickname of Sir Purr. I'll ask you, J for Randle, K for Cat. As always, just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to talk more about the Knicks, Randle, anything New York Knicks basketball, hit me up on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_.
Not a confetti guy. I'm in that camp.
Cat is not a Fetty guy.
No, not at all. Like, can you actually see him as the second best player on a team? Because with that contract, he's going to have to be your second best player, hoisting that Larry O'B.
Yeah, and when you talk, another reason I wanted to bring up in that little clip there was the reason I don't want to trade Randle because, or the only way I would trade Randle is if you get an upgrade, is because when you talk about Julius Randle's contracts, he's on one of the bigger steals in the NBA over the next couple of years. Like we just showed you, Cat's going to be making $50 million in 2024 and 2025. Randle's at about $26, $27, $28 million. So it gives you more versatility, I would say, Seeps, in your lineups and your ability to build out a roster. But I would understand why someone would say Cat's a better player, but I don't know if he is. Like, do I trade a non-Fetty guy for a non-Fetty guy?
No. And the thing, listen, I saw a highlight video of Cat working out this offseason, and this dude, like, I get it. It's the offseason. You're going to do what you want. But he's taking, like, step back, behind the back threes, like, all this stuff. I'm like, is that really the type of player you want at your 4?
Yeah.
Like, is a 7-footer whose best kind of attribute is beyond the three-point arc? Like, I get it. It's cool. It's a little flashier, but I've been out on Cat for a while. He's also one of the worst pick-and-roll defenders in NBA history. Yeah,
he's bad. He is bad in that regard for sure. We are going to be doing a new segment coming up in the show in about 20 minutes or so, and I want to interact with you guys. Do you have a hot take for the New York Knicks this season? If you have a hot take, submit it in the comments section and just include #Knicks in your hot take. That way Seeps can pull it up on screen. We've got a couple of steamy takes that we're going to put up on screen. I don't think my take is that steamy, but I don't think a lot of people. I don't know. I think I should have gone hotter, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you should have. I think you should have.
There's a large. My take is about Quentin Grimes. I'll just tease that a little bit. Not everybody is in the camp as us, Seeps, that Quentin Grimes is one of the best young winning players in this league. Yeah. There's people on Knicks Twitter that call him Quentin Ntilikina. It's unbelievable.
Stop.
It's unbelievable.
Listen, I don't know as much basketball as Jerry West, but if Jerry West called Quentin Grimes was the best Knicks trade asset or untouchable.
He said last summer, Jerry West, I think the guy that's the logo basketball, something like that.
Built some of the best teams in NBA history. Like
he said, Quentin Grimes is going to be a better player than RJ Barrett, and he holds his trade value higher than Barrett's. So I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I'll trust Jerry.
I'll trust Jerry West. My man CPJ in the building. What up, CPJ? He said, "What did I miss?" Julius Randle trade destinations is what we just talked about. That video will go out on the channel probably tomorrow, CPJ. We talked about some teams that I think could trade for Randle if they wanted to. So, we talked about that.
Trey Miles in the chat.
Yeah, Trey Miles. No, Trey Miles is always good for a super chat where I could just be like, yeah. Shout out to Trey Miles, a GOAT. CPJ says, wait, what? I missed that? Yeah, we did some Julius Randle trade destinations. We had, what were the 4 teams again?
Pelicans, Timberwolves, Raptors, and Sixers. Yeah.
Of those teams, which one do you think would make the most sense?
Probably Philly. I think you had it right at the top. I would love that Tobias Harris trade. I'll show you CP right now.
Do the Knicks get better?
Yes. I think so.
Yeah. There's potential there.
Randle's a better player than Tobias Harris, but I think the spacing and just overall offense, I think will be a lot better with
your flow would be way better.
Flow. Yeah.
The flow would be way better.
And plus, like, you wouldn't have 3 lefties on the floor that all relatively play similar basketball.
Agreed. Seeps, we're up to 220 people watching. We have a good audience now, so I want to ask the crew this question. I need you guys to pick a redhead for the New York Knicks. As you know, the Knicks signed Dylan Windler today. If you don't know much about Dylan Windler, you could check him out on the show, on the channel. We broke him down. So I want to ask the crowd this. If you had to pick a redhead, who would you rather have? DW, DD, or PS? CPJ riding with the GOATs.
He already threw it in there right away. y'all got to see my game. You got to see my game. Give me a two-way, Leon. Give me a two-way.
You just need an Exhibit 10. You only need 10 days.
Actually, fuck that.
I need 10 days.
Give me one practice, and Tibbs will be playing me. He'll love the intensity.
I'm freaking dead. Kevin Middleton said, how many bums are we going to sign this week? Damn, that's tough, dude.
You clearly don't know Windler's game.
He doesn't. That is hilarious.
Scalabrini.
CPJ, my man.
Funny, so I met Scalabrini once. First thing he says, love your hair.
Swear.
Swear to God.
That's electric. Oh, Scalabrini. As Trey Miles comes in with the first super chat of the day.
Say let's, Playboy.
It ain't nothing but Trey Miles is a GOAT. Trey Miles is a GOAT. I'm taking shots at tequila.
Yeah, I got you one, Trey.
Honestly, F it. Every $10 super chat today, we're taking tequila shots.
Yeah.
Let's do it. $10 shot for my man, Trey Miles, True York. Love the hashtag. He's a GOAT. Let's go.
Yeah. If you guys don't think I'm a Tibbs guy, y'all don't know me. I'm a Tibbs guy through and through.
Will even said it.
I'm a Tibbs guy.
Will said PS is a Tibbs guy. That's goated.
We're diving on the floor. We're getting gritty.
Lad Show says these all bums. That's crazy.
Lad, you couldn't guard me. You could not hold me.
I'm freaking dead.
Bill!
Bill! What up, Bill? Bill, I need you to pick a redhead. Which redhead are you rolling with, Bill?
Answer carefully, Bill.
Answer carefully, Bill. Let me know.
I might be kicking people out of the chat that type anything else.
Julian Alexander says you'd get Fournier's minutes.
I would contribute better than
Fournier was ass.
Yeah. And
three-point shooter shooting 30% from three. Why would the Knicks continue to play you? That's ridiculous. He said for drinks, it's PS 100%.
For drinks, shooting, defense, whatever it may be.
Just being a dude.
Being a dude.
Being a part of the gang.
See, but then again, DiVincenzo's up there.
DiVincenzo's he's a homie.
He's an elite human.
DiVincenzo's a homie.
So I would probably type DD or PS. Definitely not Windler. Love you, Windler, but
I'm freaking dead. That's hilarious. Sherwin in the chat says Dylan Windler is a good player.
he was a beast.
That's funny. We are about to break down some reporting from ESPN, and once again, it focuses on Donovan Mitchell. So, damn, where are my real ones at? These takes in the chat really bothering me. You already know how I get, CPJ. There's been some wild takes today.
Yeah.
There's been some wild takes today, no doubt about it. We're about to get into some Donovan Mitchell updates via ESPN and his future with the Cleveland Cavaliers. But before we do, though, hit that thumbs up icon. We got 170 people watching. We've already had 900 people tune in today. If you could, hit that thumbs up icon. It would be greatly appreciated. Let's do it, though. Let's break down some reports from ESPN. Will Donovan Mitchell ever play for the New York Knicks? It sounds like he might not be re-signing or signing an extension with the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're going to break that down in today's video. But first, answer the poll question of today. Will Donovan Mitchell ever be a Knick? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Here we go again. Yes, we are talking Donovan Mitchell on the channel when it comes to the New York Knicks because ESPN said there is zero chance Donovan Mitchell signs an extension with the Cleveland Cavaliers. We have quotes from Brian Windhorst, Tim McMahon, and Tim Bontemps. They do a podcast on ESPN, I think every week during the summer. So we have quotes from that. They were talking about Donovan Mitchell. But first, let's kind of set the stage a little bit. Let's take a look at Mitchell's contract. In 2023, this upcoming year, he's going to be making $32.6 million. Next year, he'll be making $34.8 million. Then he has a player option for the 2025-2026 season. He is expected to decline that contract. He will be a free agent in the summer of 2025. And we'll tell you in a second why the Knicks definitely, and you could tell, have their eyes on the summer of 2025. Let's get to the quotes, though, of the podcast. That's what Tim McMahon said. He said, "This is kind of a make or break year for the Cavs. Do you think Donovan Mitchell signs an extension?" Then Bontemps responded and said, "I don't think there's any chance he signs an extension there ever. And if it was up to me, I would trade Donovan Mitchell today. They'll get a lot more for him with 2 summers left than they will with 1," talking about how many years he has left on his contract. And he went on to say, "Now, I also am fully aware that's not what they're going to do, and I understand why." Brian Windhorst closed the conversation with, "This fall, when Donovan doesn't extend, I'm sure he'll get asked about it at Media Day, and I'm sure he'll have a very good answer, and maybe even a hedged answer, and that will be interesting." Let's turn the clock back to 2022 because there's not many more people in this world that like to say, "I told you so," than me. So I'm going to let you know, I told you so. This is why I said for day after day and week after week and month after month last summer that the Knicks had all the leverage during the Donovan Mitchell trade. And I would say this exactly. He's got 3 years left on his contract. The first year of the 3, it doesn't matter because the Utah Jazz don't want to win games. Then he's got 2 years left. And then after year 1, and he has 1 year left, he'll be almost an expiring deal, and the Jazz won't want him on this team with 1 year. But I swing it back to say this. Why do the Knicks have all the leverage? Because Donovan Mitchell wants to be a Knick. He's said time and time again that he loves New York. He's always there during the summer. Why was he talking about the New York Knicks in his media press conference where he was announced he was traded to the Cavs? Why was he talking about the Knicks? Because he's going to end up being a part of this team in the summer. We actually had some quotes from Donovan Mitchell in a second, but first, I need to make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. So go down right now, hit that big red button, sub for Knicks Dubs, youtube.com/KnicksTV. Hit that sub button, help us get to 30,000 subs. Free content on your New York Knicks every day. I think it's pretty obvious. Donovan Mitchell does not want to be a Cav long term. I told you that last summer. The only place he wants to sign a long-term deal is with the New York Knicks. How do I know that the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell doesn't want to be a Cav? Well, 1, I have a brain. But 2, Jason Lloyd of The Athletic said this just a couple of weeks ago. Quote, "From everyone I've talked to, Donovan Mitchell wants to go to New York. Now, does New York want him? I don't know, but that's where he wants to go. That's where he wants to play. You have 2 years left on his contract. Do you really think, after all the assets that the Cavs gave up to acquire him, that they're going to run the risk of leaving and letting him leave and getting nothing in return for him, right? No. You're gonna have to trade him with a year left on his contract unless you get a big extension out of him. Unless you get a commitment out of him, I don't think that's happening." He also said this, "In 2010, when LeBron James left the Cavs for the first time to go to Miami, Dan Gilbert told all the people close to him, quote, 'I should have traded him with a year left on his contract.'" So I don't know what else I need to say. I told you all last summer he wanted to be a Knick. The only place that would have made sense for him to be a Knick to go was the Knicks because that's where he wants to go and play. But the question you now have to ask yourself as a Knicks fan is, why trade for Donovan Mitchell if he wants to be a Knick? And what do I mean by that? He could be a free agent in the summer of 2025. If you take a look at the Knicks salary cap books, they are gearing up for the summer of 2025. At this current moment, there is only 5 players on the Knicks roster that are under contract for 2025. That's R.J. Barrett at $27.7 million. That's Mitchell Robinson at $12.9 million. And that's Dante DiVincenzo at $11.9 million. You also have Jaylen Brunson under contract, and you also have Julius Randle under contract. But Julius Randle and Jaylen Brunson, they have player options. They are going to opt out of that contract, which means the Knicks have their bird rights, which means they can use salary cap space on player X and then re-sign Randle and Brunson without going into the salary cap. I also have Josh Hart as under contract through 2025 because once the 6-month period goes over of when he was traded from Portland to the Knicks, they are going to re-sign him. Moral of the story, the Knicks are going to have a boatload of cap space in 2025 when, ding, 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 Donovan Mitchell is a free agent. Let's go back, though, to what Donovan Mitchell had to say just a couple of days ago talking about the playoffs and why he loved playing in MSG. He said for Game 3, when we came out, the noise, the fans, when they did the anthem, bruh, that was crazy. That shit was crazy. Like, when they did the anthem, I was like, damn, that shit is jumping. Like, I was geeked. Has anyone ever said those types of words about the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio? No. But the question you got to ask yourself is this, Leon Rose. Can Jaylen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell win a championship? That is the question you have to ask yourself when pursuing Mitchell. One, I'm not trading for him. I would wait until the summer of 2025 when he is a free agent. The Knicks can sign him outright and not give up any players in a deal or picks, and you have millions and millions and millions, almost $60 million in cap space. But I go back to the question, can a 6'1" point guard and a 6'1" 2 guard that don't specialize in defense win a championship? I am not sure. I'm not sure it's the best pairing, but I think we are on a collision course to these two guys sharing the backcourt at Madison Square Garden. If you don't like what I had to say today about Donovan Mitchell, I don't really care, but you can hit me up on Twitter and yell at me over there at @MarshallGreen_. I'm talking and tweeting about the Knicks all day, every day, talking about the latest news and rumors across the association. So if you want more Marshy, hit me up on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_.
I'm out on Mitchell to the Knicks. I actually don't think it's a good fit whatsoever.
Before that, though, can I just, say I told them?
Yeah.
We told them this is coming. Marshall, the Knicks don't have any leverage. Well, yeah, the team that just freaking traded for him, he doesn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, I just don't think. Okay, it's late in the game in the playoffs. Who would you rather have the ball in their hand? Brunson. Is Mitchell gonna at the end of these games? If he's with Brunson, he's gonna turn into a catch and shoot guy.
If you're going to get Donovan Mitchell, you have to get off of Julius Randle and get a superstar defensive power forward.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't love the pairing, and I hope that I made that clear in that last sentence because I don't know if they can win a championship. But I'm not sure that the Knicks can continue to live in the state where they are just saying no and no and no to every single player. When, Seeps, to be clear, their whole philosophy has been to go trade for a superstar.
Yeah.
They have done all this to do that.
But they got their guy in Brunson. I feel like bringing in Mitchell would almost be he's just not going to get as many touches. The ball is just not going to be in his hands. If you go pair him up with a Paul George, I don't think it would affect his game as much. Bringing a Mitchell, that is a lot of usage and a lot of touches coming out of that backcourt.
Can Tom Thibodeau build his calling card is defense. Can he build a championship defense around those two guys? I don't know.
And then what? Then what does that do for the other guys? Grimes, Hart, Quickly, DiVincenzo. Those guys don't get at all any minutes down the stretch of those games.
And you're small.
And you're very small. Isn't Josh Hart running the 3 with 6'2" Mitchell and 6'1" Brunson? I just never have agreed with the two guards unless it's Steph and Clay. They're the anomaly. Clay was one of the best 3-and-D guys in NBA history. I don't know. I just actually don't think it would be a good fit. I really don't think it would work. I think it's Brunson's team.
I think we both think it would work. The Knicks would win a lot of games in the regular season. Would they win a championship? I think is what we're going at here, right? I don't know if they do.
Yeah. Oh, fireworks in the regular season.
Oh my God, they'd be a 55-win team.
It would be sick.
No doubt about it. You're changing your whole offense. You're a pick and roll heavy offense now.
Yeah. But it's also
what are you doing with RJ and Julius? You can't have a point guard, shooting guard, small forward of Barrett, Mitchell, and Jaylen Brunson. There's no defense.
No. You would need to get a bunch of I don't even know what types of players. Like Siakam's at the 4. Like just super long. Pretty much just get the Raptors lineup like at the front court and wing spot.
What about a lot? What about like Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Mikal Bridges, a power forward, and Mitchell Robinson? That'd be tough.
That could work.
That would be tough.
I mean, that could work, but all 3 of those guys are going to probably be making damn near max money by the time he's a free agent. That's also the thing. Like, is Donovan? I'm out on Donovan Mitchell as just a winning player right now. Maybe I have recency bias out my ass after what I just saw in the playoffs last year, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's so.
That's why I wouldn't trade for him. I would go out and sign him. I'm not willing to give up anything for him except a check.
There's no reason.
Yeah, like he's coming here in 2025 if the Knicks want him here. Pair Donovan Mitchell and Brunson with Giannis and Ty Lue.
Yeah, that would be something.
That might go in our hot takes, Seki.
Should I?
I'm freaking dead. Nick Davidov in the chat says, I think it would work perfectly fine.
On one side of the court, it might.
You'd be one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah, but then again, like even when it gets tight late in games, like I don't think it would be a seamless fit.
I don't think the offense would be a problem, to be honest. I think the offense would be good enough to win a championship.
Yeah,
because I think it's been proven that Brunson can play off ball.
That's the thing. Mitchell would be the primary decision maker, I feel like, late in games. Because I'd rather have Brunson off ball in a catch and shoot opportunity than Mitchell.
But I'd rather the ball be in Brunson's hand.
He's a better decision maker.
Let me look up some.
Because Brunson, like, there are not many more guards.
I mean, he shot 37.6% on catch and shoot threes.
That's pretty good.
He'd be getting some fucking open looks next to Brunson, dude.
Oh, I know. Maybe it could work.
I worry about the playoff success. I really do. I really do.
And you would also have 2 guards that could beat anybody off the dribble and get to the lane whenever you want. If your offense stalls out, you just got to get a paint touch, defense in rotation. I mean, defenses would be freaking flying around. Right?
It would be interesting. I don't know if I think you need an elite small forward or defender when it comes to defense.
You would have to.
I would be cool if my center rotation, honestly, was still Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein. I'd be cool with that, with those 2 guys. But
they would honestly be probably perfect.
Yeah,
that's tough.
It ain't RJ and Randle who I want at the 3 and 4 with those 2 guys.
No.
At all. As Crim's dad, where have you been, Crimmy? Crimmy. Good to see. Crimmy's in the chat. Let's ride. Crim's dad in this building. He says, "Can I ask PS a question?" Seeps, can he ask you a question?
I think I'll let it fly, Crimmy.
To see if he is a true Knick redhead.
Okay. I'm curious to see what this is going to go.
You're going to let him ask it?
I'm going to let him ask it.
Okay. The question can he ask a question? Because I think that would be some Crim's dad shit.
That would be.
To ask if you could ask a question, but that's the question he wants to ask.
Now I'm in a mind fuck.
My head is in a pretzel.
My brain just shut off right now.
My head's in a pretzel. He asked it. Let's go to it real quick. Crim's dad asked Seeps if he can ask a question. And he did. And he said,
does the carpet match the drapes? A little bit. A little darker. But, yeah, a little bit. Too personal of a question.
That was wild.
That was wild. I did not think. I thought it was going to be Knicks related.
Because he did say to prove he's a real Knick. Or something like that.
To prove he's a real Knick redhead.
That was wild, Crimmy. You're back with a bang. I freaking love it, dude. Crimmy, you're my man. You know that. Nick Davidov coming in with a $10 super chat. He said, I saw in the comments, that he would be a fan of Brunson and Donovan Mitchell.
Shit, it would be
they wouldn't be a bad team. There's no way those 2 could be bad.
No.
Can they get to the top, though?
I don't know. I'm just dying at the
my
chat
man.
right
my
now.
man is in shambles, Crimmy. You win. That's a dub for Crimmy.
That is a dub for Crimmy. You got me there.
I'm freaking dead.
That's hilarious.
Davidov, love the shades. I still want a pair, and I also want that hat. We got to get together,
We should
Mr.
open
Davidov.
up one show. We're just wearing that.
We wear that type of stuff.
That's what we wear.
Love that. My man IWC coming in and says, get him in free agency, can always trade him away for assets. I don't hate that idea either. Maybe you do it for a year or 2 and you're like, this isn't going to work. You could still get a bunch back from Mitchell.
Definitely.
What do you think about Io DeSumo asking that question?
Hey, Io's back in Chicago.
I thought he wasn't back.
Well, now he is. There was like 15 different conflicting reports on
So
that.
you have DeSumo, you have Javon Carter
Two
and
Chicago
Caruso.
Guards and Caruso.
3 of the exact same players. They are defenders, though. I don't mind.
Carter is more of a true point, but Caruso and Io are pretty much carbon copies of each other.
I do like that. It's like, hey, we got Zach LaVine, we got DeMar DeRozan, 2 guys that are some of the best half-court bucket getters. Just surround them with elite perimeter defense.
And they also, Torrey Craig was a sneaky good
Yeah,
pickup.
Torrey Craig. He was a really good defender for Phoenix. Bulls are interesting this year.
Bulls, I think they're going to be way better than people think, but I still think they have their max potential as a first-round playoff win. Like, that's max.
Can they be the Knicks of last year where people were questioning if they could be a play-in team and they sneak into a top 6 seed?
That's what I think. I mean, they're going to be good. Like, they have too much talent on that roster, but it's going to come down to the big man in the middle, Nikola Vucevic. I saw a wild stat. So my new rebounding stat for bigs, and
is it the stat we created back in the day?
No.
What was that? Effective rebound rate?
Yeah. No, it was team rebounding when they're on the floor
compared to not.
Nikola Vucevic is negative, and he averages 11 plus rebounds.
So they're a worse rebounding team when he's on the floor.
But he puts up a lot of rebounding numbers. Don't get fooled by the stat sheet, everybody.
But Randle had 12 rebounds. That's what y'all used to sound like.
That's what I want. That's what I want to know is
That's
Randle.
what y'all used to sound like. Shout out to IWC. Shout out to Crimsdad. Shout out to Nick Davidoff. We're up to $32 in super chats. If we get to 50, I'm gonna do a beer shotgun. I think we got some Trulies out there. I'd like to do a big Truly shotgun. Let's do it.
I'll take the 100 mount.
You'll do the
100. We can do a race.
If we do 50, if we did 50. We'll do it at 50. I'll do it, and then I'll race you at 100. How about that?
Let's do that.
I do owe a shot of tequila for my man Nick Davidov. He sent in a $10 super chat. Was that the only 10 that came in?
Yeah.
Okay. Every $10 super chat, we're taking shots at tequila. Let's get it on. Woo.
Cheers, mate.
You know, I think we always do a good job on the show, Seeps. But I feel like today, the 2 videos we did were just great content.
Yeah?
I think they were just good content.
Well, and then I like this upcoming one.
Yeah, we're trying something a little bit new.
Even though Marsh kind of got a little soft with his hot take.
Was that not good enough? Should I switch it? Do you think we should?
How steamy, like scale of 1 to 10, how hot do you think this is? Like if this happened.
If this happened, the Knicks could be the best team in the East.
Dude, I think it's hot enough.
I do too. Where is he going to get my concern with my take is where are those shots going to be coming from?
Exactly.
So
especially like DiVincenzo's his role.
Yeah.
Like,
did you have to do edits for Grimes' stuff through like the numbers?
No.
I'm just going to move over. Remember all those listicles we have for every player?
Yeah.
I'm just going to move those over in case someone asks a question. You know what I'm saying about them?
I'll hop out.
Yeah,
but get those questions in there. Hot takes coming your guys' way.
What do we got?
Soon.
What is this? What's this segment all about?
So we decided we want to incorporate you guys more. Marsh had his hot take on Quentin Grimes. He's going to dive into that. But then the second half of the video coming straight from you guys. So whatever the hot take is, we already have some great ones in there, which I'm going to have to get sticky with the ones I choose here. But get your hot takes in there. Use hashtag Knicks. I'm excited to see what you guys got to cook up here.
If they're just not there's no decimal, just F it. But it's every player on the Knicks pretty much. It's got those stats right there. As CPJ coming in with a $10 super chat. The GOAT is in the building. Shout out to CPJ. We still got 210 people watching. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon. Let's go. Let's go. I got another shot. We're also $10 away, well, $9 away from a beer shotgun. So we could do that. If we get a little $10, it's actually $9. So we'll do that for a shotty as well. Shout to CPJ. Thanks for tuning in, brother. You've always supported us, so we appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Shout out to you. The GOAT.
Woo. Yeah, that tequila just never doesn't hit.
I Especially on a Monday.
Yeah. That's wild. All righty. We got some hot takes we're going to get into. If you want your hot take to get on the show, comment down below and just use hashtag Knicks. Make Seeps' job tough. CPJ and Hugh J. Nuss.
I wonder who this is. Oh, a little switch up for him here.
That is hilarious. That's hilarious.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Trace, can you grab me a black Truly out of the fridge?
CPJ saying,
Another one.
another one.
And then he said, take that shotgun, fam. My hot take will come true. Look, if the Knicks get Giannis and Donovan Mitchell and their coach is Ty Lue, I don't think anyone watching this channel is going to be upset with that.
No, the Knicks might break the Warriors' record that year.
Have you ever done one of these with this? Does it still work?
All roads lead back to the Knicks, Donovan Mitchell.
All roads lead back to New York.
That segment earlier was me just kind of flopping it out and putting it on the table and be like, I told you so.
Yeah. Hey, big man. Johnson, you got it. This is a bit.
CPJ, shout out to you, brother.
Yeah, Hugh Janus, welcome. New supporter here. You think you're slick, Johnson, you. You think you're slick. Oh, yeah. As Johnson, you came back, but he went with Kobe White this time.
Is there a tea can over there?
Oh, it's right out there by our Will's desk.
We've never done a Truly shotgun, and I'm going to be honest.
A little worse?
That packed a punch.
Yeah.
That packed a punch. Wow. My eyes are watering. Trace, I can't even. Can you come here for a second? I got something in my eye. Can you read off this super chat?
This one's coming in from Hug Giannis. What's the ceiling with Thebes?
That's good stuff.
Holy shit. He handled that like a pro.
Yeah, that was perfect.
You could never get him with a Bofa joke or a D's. That's good stuff right there, Johnson. You. What's the ceiling with Tibbs? Oh, I needed that.
Title, baby.
Is the title the ceiling?
Heck yeah. Tibbs can win the title.
I think Tibbs could win a title. You're telling me if you replace who is the coach for the Lakers when they won it with AD and LeBron?
Oh,
the dude from the Pacers.
Yeah, he looks like the dude from the practice.
Is he back in the league?
Yeah, he's with the Suns. Vogel.
You're telling me Vogel can win a title, but not Tom Thibodeau? I do think there is. I do think there is a ceiling with Tom Thibodeau, and I've made this analogy before. I think Tom Thibodeau is the New York Knicks version of Mark Jackson, where Mark Jackson, really developed all these young guys, made them winners, set the culture. But you may need a Steve Kerr to take that ceiling off.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. Maybe it's Ty Lue.
But I will say, I've always been in the camp that Mark Jackson kind of got effed a little bit. Like, he got kicked out of town when Steph and Clay and Draymond were hitting their strides.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Tibbs can do it. Like, we talk about confetti guys.
Is Tibbs a confetti guy?
I think he is.
I think he is too, in the sense that he eats, sleeps, and breathes basketball.
Yes.
There's not a coach that outworks Tom Thibodeau.
No.
I respect the grind.
And I think he's shown who's the Bryant? Johnny Bryant.
Johnny Bryant, yep.
Like, I think he kind of got some D-coordinator, offensive coordinator with those two, which I think it could work well.
Because the Knicks offense is much different than what the Bulls. I know it's 10 years later, but this Knicks offense was a lot of threes. They shot a lot of threes last year.
And the Bulls back in the day, obviously they ran a lot through D Rose, but they ran a lot through the high post. They ran a lot Boozer, Joakim Noah, high-low.
So we actually got some Knicks news that I missed.
Okay.
As I told you guys, the Knicks had 5 players on 2-way contracts.
Oh.
They offered a qualifying offer of a 2-way deal to Dwayne Washington.
Okay.
He picked it up. They cut him.
So
he's done. So now they still have 4 players left on 2-way deals. They need to make another move. I feel bad for Dwayne Washington, but it was the easiest money he's ever made in his life, $80,000.
So they just gave him that, and then he's done.
He's done. Because you can't rescind. I don't think you can rescind a two-way qualifying offer. Don't quote me on that. But I'm not sure that they did.
So I guess there's no really downside if they have.
Because it does. I don't think two ways count against a salary cap. And if it did, it's 75, 80K.
It's 80K.
CPJ says Eric outcoached him. Yeah, Eric Spoelstra is probably the best coach of this generation. So I would hope that he out.
I think Tibbs did a way better job than people are giving him credit for during that Heat series.
It was the worst that Heat offenses looked all postseason.
Jimmy was pretty much non-existent. If it honestly wasn't for Strus lighting him up and Julius Randle being a bonehead.
They played the game. Can Max Strus beat us? And he did.
And they did. I'd rather play that game than if Jimmy Butler beats us.
Look, I don't love Tibbs. I think I've made that clear time and time again on this channel. CBJ, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the league, though. It doesn't matter.
And Spo was like the video coordinator back when Pat Riley was the Heat head coach.
I bet they've been about a head coach for a similar amount of years.
Yeah, when did Spo start?
Was Tibbs' first head coach job was the Bulls, right?
Yeah, because he was assistant in Boston.
Yeah, look, is Tom Thibodeau a great coach? No. Is he a good coach? Yes. Tom Thibodeau is a good coach.
But I don't think I've been saying this. Coaching matters a whole lot more in the NFL compared to the NBA. Stars, it's still a stars league. Like, I bet you get the right team around Tibbs. He's gonna have that team locked in. Like, he's gonna.
He just took a Knicks team that a lot of people in this chat told me they were going to win less than 37 games last year, and they won a playoff series. I'm going to give more credit to Jalen Brunson for that, but he was the coach.
Yeah. And he got a lot out of JB.
Yeah.
I'm sure JB respects the shit out of Tibbs.
Supposedly he loves playing for Tibbs, and that's the main reason he wanted to come to the Knicks.
Because I think a lot of these guys in the NBA.
Like, is there another coach that replace Tom Thibodeau with any coach in the NBA? They're not beating the Heat.
No, not at
because they didn't make shots. Tibbs doesn't make people make shots. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Oh, sheesh. As Brian came in with a $10 super chat and said, tequila. Shout out to Brian. Seeps is going to take one for me because I just took like 3 and then I just shot fun that drink, so I'm going to chill a little bit.
Tequila.
Brian said, did we reach 50? Yes, we got to 50. That's why I did the beer shotgun. But once we get to 100, we're going to race. We're up to $68 now, so we're about $32 away. Brian, you know what? F it, Brian. I'm taking one for you. You're a real one. It's Monday. I got work tomorrow. But you know what? We don't got work, Seeps, on Friday.
That is true.
It's a short week.
That is.
Which means, I don't know, but I'm going to take this.
It's an excuse to drink. Hell yeah.
Woo!
Shout out to Brian. We appreciate it. Good one, man.
Shout out to Brian. Brian, I appreciate you. I see you in the comments. I see when you tune in. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
And then the big fella, Micro Dick. He says, hi, Marsh and Seeps. This is Crim's dad 100%. I'm growing more and more for this show. Micro Dick, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I tried to get you to spit that out right there.
I was about to read it as Mike. He would have got me. It would have got me.
Oh, he would really? God damn it.
Holy shit. Crim's dad.
100% it's Crim's dad.
He is back with a bang, and I freaking love it. We missed this comedy in the chat from Crim's dad.
I was going to say, he's getting a little dicey.
Shout out to Mike Rowe. D?
I think it's pronounced Micro Dick.
Sure. Sure it is. Holy shit. All righty, we're going to get to the last segment of today's show. If you have a hot take regarding the New York Knicks for this upcoming season, drop it in the comment section and use hashtag Knicks. And Seeps is going to pick the best 4. Only 4 people are going to get their...
paying homage.
Honestly, nobody should be more proud than Johnson you for Crim's dad's name right there.
Johnson, you better be smiling.
Brian says, watch y'all when I'm at work. They get mad when I'm supposed to be running the floor. Hashtag real one.
Hell yeah.
Hashtag
that is a real
one.
Brian. Let's go.
Shout out to Brian. All righty. Seeps, I hope you make some juicy choices on these hot takes.
Only 4, so don't get mad at me.
Because I want the title to be top 5.
Top 5.
Top 5, or what do you think? Do you think
5 flaming hot New York Knicks takes for the 2023-24 NBA season?
Let's do it. It's up to Seeps. Let's get into it. In today's video, we're going to break down the hottest takes when it comes to the New York Knicks from subscribers on the channel. So I'm going to give you my hottest take, maybe not my hottest take, but a hot take. And then we're going to go to the crowd and the subscribers from our live show this past Monday, and they're going to give us their hottest takes. We're going to break it down in today's show. My hot take, that it may not be my hottest take, but a take that I think is hot and that I think is actually achievable, is Quentin Grimes is going to be in the running for the most improved player in the NBA this upcoming season. I really believe that Grimes can be one of the best young two-way winning basketball players in the NBA. I think he plays their game the right way. I think he plays with a lot of effort. I think he plays with a lot of energy and just a lot of winning juice from Quentin Grimes. And I think that starts on the defensive end, where he is one of the most disrespected defensive players in the NBA. I think Knicks fans understand that Grimes is a dog on the defensive side of the court, but I think there's a lot of people across the NBA that don't understand how special of a player he is. Here are some stats that I want to break down. When you talk about Quentin Grimes as a defender in ISO situations, he is one of the best in the NBA. Your favorite player has probably been locked up by Quentin Grimes, shot to Jimmy Butler when he ripped him in the playoffs and went coast to coast. In ISO situations, Quentin Grimes allows a field goal percentage of 31.4. Think about that. And then when he gets ISO'd, he allows 0.7 points per ISO. Remember, buckets are worth 2 and 3 points. You don't got to be a stat nerd to know this is great defense. Another stat that I want to show you, this comes from Basketball Index. When you look at this pie chart, a little bit of x-axis, a little bit of y-axis. Look at it like this. So the higher you are up on this chart, that means the more effective you are as a defender. The more to the right you are is how difficult your matchups is. Who's the player that's most to the right? That is Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes had the most difficult matchup on defense throughout the 2022-2023 NBA season, and he's almost a neutral defender in that regard. Think about it like this. When he guards the best players every single night, he does a good job against it. But it's not just on the defensive floor that I think he's going to get his name called for and get recognized and get respect. What he did this year, when he got the looks, he took advantage. The guy in 29 minutes per game, playing alongside a ball-dominant Quentin Grimes, a ball-dominant Barrett, a ball-dominant Jaylen Brunson, a ball-dominant RJ Barrett, and a ball-dominant Julius Randle, the guy still averaged 11 points per game and was one of the most efficient players on this team, shooting 47% from the field and almost 39% from downtown. Another stat that I love about Quentin Grimes is pretty much when he gets involved, the New York Knicks win. The Knicks record when Grimes made 3 or more three-pointers in a game last year, they were 18-8, which would make them one of the best teams in the NBA if you stretch that out over 82 games. But it's not just when he makes threes is he effective. When he gets more than 10-plus shots in a game, which he did 25 times, he averaged almost 18 points per game and shot 40.8% from downtown on 8.5 threes per night. That is Klay Thompson stuff right there. Shooting 41% from 3 on almost 9 attempts per night. AKA, this stat on screen, you get Grimes 10-plus shots, he's going to be a really effective player. Another reason I think Quentin Grimes is going to take a big step is because he has been selected to the USA Basketball Select Team. This is the team that's going to be practicing against the team with Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart this summer. Why do I think this is important? Because you always see those guys go to Team USA, practice with those guys, get in that environment, learn from the people that are at the top of their game, and you can translate and carry that in to the NBA season. He's going to be in great shape going into the season, as he always is. He is a hard worker, no doubt about it. But I believe between Team USA, more looks, and that defensive intensity continuing to go up, he's going to be one of the best players, young players in the league this year, and he's going to be a guy that's going to be in the running for most improved. I'll ask you this question. 13.5 points per game for Quentin Grimes this year. It was 11.9 last year. Can it go up 2 points per game? I want to hear from you. Type O for over, type U for under. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. And make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel because nonstop coverage of the Knicks all year. We put videos out every single day on the latest Knicks news and rumors. So go down right now and hit that big red sub button. Let's get to some hot takes from some Knicks Now real ones out there. A definite real one. David Taylor says, my hot take, RJ Barrett averages 26 points per game and shoots 39.5% from three and 42% from the field. David, I would say that 42% from the field is not going to be a hot take because that's what RJ Barrett averages. But the three-point percentage and the points per game is absolutely a hot take because when you look at what RJ Barrett did this past year, he averaged 19.6 points per game, 5 rebounds, just under 3 assists, 43% from the field, which was a career best for RJ, I believe, and the three-point percentage definitely took a step back. I'll tell you this much. If RJ gives you 26 points per game next year, David, and he shoots 39.5% from three, the Knicks are going to be the best team or the second best team in the Eastern Conference. If you can have RJ Barrett shoot 40% from three, the trade talks about RJ Barrett on this channel are going to die down because he is going to be an elite driver of the basketball in terms of getting there per drive. I think he's going to get better as a finisher. But, man, if he can get up to 39.5% from three, yeah, this team's going to be pretty freaking good. My man CPJ coming in with a hot take says, pair Donovan Mitchell and Jaylen Brunson with Giannis and Ty Lue as our coach. Yeah, sign me up. If that ever happens, CPJ, I'm going to have you buy some lottery tickets for me because you're predicting the future, my man. Brunson, Mitchell, Giannis, yeah, that's winning an NBA championship. That may be winning multiple NBA championships. And Ty Lue as a head coach. I think that team would be pretty damn good. I don't know how likely, but I like the hot take, my man. Julio Caesar coming in with a hot take. Emmanuel quickly starts at the 2 and wins most improved player, averaging 18 points per game, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. The only reason I would say no is because I want Emmanuel quickly to be that point guard coming off the bench. I don't think the numbers are off all that much. I mean, this past year coming off the bench, he averaged 15 points per game, 4 rebounds, and almost 4 assists, and he was super efficient, 44.8% from the field and 37% from downtown. And we saw when Emmanuel quickly was a starter, the guy averaged 23, 5, and 6 on 47 and 40 splits from the field. So I don't necessarily think the stats are a hot take. I will never be surprised by Emmanuel quickly and what he does on the court because I know how special and talented of a player that he is. It's just I don't know if he is a starter for this team because maybe it's just me. I want him to be the backup point guard on this team. Can he be a spot starter? Yes, he could start at the 1. He could start at the 2. If RJ Barrett, gets hurt, he could take his spot in the starting lineup and move Grimes to the 3. But I'm not going to be shocked if quickly ever averages 18 points per game. And one edits with a hot take says Jaylen Brunson gets MVP and carries the New York Knicks to a chip. That's hot. That's a hot take, and I'd probably be crying tears of joy if that ever happened for Jaylen Brunson. I mean, shoot, if he does what he did in the playoffs in the regular season, I don't think anyone would be shocked if a player that averaged 28, 5, and 5 on 47% from the floor would be an MVP candidate. I mean, we've seen players average less than that and be an MVP candidate. The Knicks would probably have to be a 1 seed. Brunson puts up these numbers. Man, how cool would it be, though? Jaylen Brunson, MVP, and brings a title back to the city. That would be awesome. I love Jaylen Brunson. I think he is a top 5 point guard in the NBA. I think he's the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. I don't know if he'll ever get the love that he deserves for being an MVP because he's not the most flashy guy. But, man, when you just talk about in between those white lines, about basketball, and about winning, there's not many players I want on my team over Jalen Brunson, especially at that point guard spot. I appreciate everybody that submitted their hot takes on our live show. This was a lot of fun. Wanted to try a new segment, but I want to know, do you want us to do more hot take segments? If you do, hit that thumbs up icon right now. And, hey, maybe we get to 500 likes on today's video. We'll do more hot takes. Woo!
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Keith Turner, not a fan of Quentin Grimes.
Really?
He is not a fan.
You don't see that dog in him?
What about when he locked up Jimmy Butler and stole the ball from him?
He's got dog in him.
I would say that was some dog.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of people had spicy hot takes. Seeps had to get as many as he could up there.
Yeah. I was limited to 4.
You were limited to 4. 5 hot takes for the New York Knicks going into the 2023 season. Woo! Tyler says over. If this is under, I'd be upset.
Yeah.
He was 11-9 last year. I'm expecting much more in 13.5. The only thing I'm worried about is with the addition of Chenzo, how many minutes is he going to get?
Dude, if he's averaging 14, like as the Knicks roster stands right now, that's probably 4th on the team, either him or Quickly. I mean,
who's your closing lineup game 1 for the Knicks?
Game 1 for the Knicks, as it is right now, Brunson, Randle have to be there.
Big man. Hartensteiner, Robinson. So we'll count those 3 guys. One of the centers, right?
I go Nova boys.
I go
DiVincenzo and Hart.
DiVincenzo and Hart?
With Randle and Mitch Rob.
No Grimes? No Quickly? No
maybe
RJ?
Grimes? No, definitely no RJ. RJ's not touching my final closing lineup. When he learns how to catch and shoot a 3, then he can.
Keith Turner, you said Grimes is always injured. He played 71 games this year. I don't understand that. He got injured one time his rookie year.
And it was at the beginning of the year.
It was the beginning of the year.
And didn't he hurt his foot in training camp or something like that?
Yeah. I don't think that you could say he's always hurt. If you play 71 games in a season, you quite literally can't always be hurt.
I would probably guess that's in the top 20% of players nowadays in the NBA. If you play 70
especially per
games,
minute, with minutes he's getting.
Yeah. Maybe DiVincenzo's not my closing lineup. Maybe it is Grimes.
I think it varies.
It's hot hand.
I think it varies.
Yeah.
Like if you need another ball handler, I think you throw Quickly out there.
Yeah.
If you want a guy that's going to play defense and knock down, catch and shoot threes, you could go with Grimes or DiVincenzo. If you want to go a little bigger, I think you go Grimes over Chenzo. But if you want a little bit more playmaking while still having the three-point ability and off-ball defense, you go Chenzo over Grimes. It's going to be tough decision-making for Tibbs.
Even Hart probably doesn't have a for sure
Yeah,
guarantee in the
but Tibbs loves Hart, and we know that.
And Tibbs is going to find a way to get him on the floor. But if like Brunson's getting jumped a lot on ball screens, like throw Quickly out there, a better ball handler. But Chenzo can do that as well. Chenzo is an underrated playmaker, especially in the pick and roll. Like,
yeah,
I just think end of the games, you want the guys that execute the best and make the best reads. Those are the Villanova basketball players.
I understand how Hulu Caesar is saying Grimes is an inconsistent shot when he shot 39% from 3.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little streaky, but a lot of players in the NBA are. Like, it's a confidence thing.
It's 39% from 3. That's like really, really good. Is he a little streaky? I think that's the word you're looking for. Inconsistent is not the word.
No. But all shooters in the NBA are streaky.
He missed training camp in the first 7 games of the season.
That's pretty much preseason.
That makes him injury prone? I don't know about that one. I don't know. I can't rock with that.
Are we calling Randle injury prone?
Yeah.
Because he missed the last 5
He missed a
games
playoff game. He must be injury prone. Crazy.
I could really give a shit if a guy misses the first 7 games of the season.
Kevin Middleton said Grimes never makes wide open shots. Stop capping. Seeps, how is that possible if he shot 39% from three?
Yeah. What is the beef with Grimes?
I don't understand how that's like you can even utter shit like that.
Listen, maybe you guys don't think Marsh and I know basketball, and that's fine. But I'll lean towards guys like Jerry West, where Jerry West raves about what Grimes does contributing for winning.
I don't
Calling a spade is not, but like
Quentin Grimes.
I get what you're saying, but
we have stats. So like instead of just going off our eyes,
you can go with the analytics.
Let's go off our stats. Quentin Grimes per game shot 2.5 threes where he was considered wide open, right? So 2.5 times 71. That's 177 and a half threes, right?
Okay.
So on 177 wide open threes this year, Seeps, he shot 44% from three. How can you say he doesn't make open threes?
Yeah.
Like, some of you guys just say stuff, and I understand everyone's allowed to have a take. And we welcome that on the channel. But, like, if the stats don't support the take, it's not okay.
Yeah.
If you shoot 44% on open threes, Seeps, crazy thought, you make open threes.
Yes.
So, yeah. On to the next.
I just think a lot of other NBA teams would love a cat like Quentin Grimes.
Y'all talk like Grimes is this fantastic player.
He's one of the best role players in the league. And he's only been...
Keith, aren't you an RJ guy?
He played 2 years.
Stats aren't indicative of what's happening. It 100% is in this situation, though. You said he doesn't make open threes. I just showed you he makes 44% of them. So that quite literally means he makes open threes.
What do you mean the eye test?
God, I pray y'all wake up with better thoughts tomorrow.
Yo,
I'm not. You don't have to like Quentin Grimes, but don't say dumb shit that's just simply not true.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you could listen. You guys could say I'd rather play DiVincenzo Hart and quickly over Grimes. Like, I think Grimes is the most expendable guy, but like,
Stay Low says he makes open threes at a high percentage. Yes, he does. 44.4%. That's very high. Kevin says, what are the average in the playoffs?
filter that open threes to playoffs if you're on the NBA.com one.
It doesn't, like, why does it matter? Like, we just showed you. Who says, Marsh, how many times have we seen Grimes miss wide open shots? 46% of the time.
46.
It's not hard to do math, brother.
56%.
56. So if he makes them at a 44% clip, that means he missed it at a 56% clip. Holy shit, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. All righty, I can't spend too much more time on this. Terrence Myers.
That's what I thought. Hold on. That's what I thought it was, Zach Carroll. That's what I thought people were talking about eye test and everything, because he missed that last shot against the Heat. When it was that wide open turnaround, he airballed by like 5. And it's not a wide open shot.
I watched every single Knick game this year. That was the first time that's ever happened where he had a play drawn up from him in that shot.
Yeah.
That's a tough shot to make. Terrence Myers. Mike Boy. Very fair comment. Grimes is not my favorite player, but y'all need to do your homework. And that's okay. Yeah. Thank you for just understanding that the guy, like, you cannot like someone. There's players on this Knicks team that I don't like. But I can't come on here and say Julius Randle is not a productive player when he's made an All-NBA team 2 out of the last 3 years.
Yeah.
You just can't say that.
With Randle, but
yeah. If you're just gonna if you just rattle off dumb shit when like there are facts out there that show you it's not true, yeah. I just can't engage with that. I'm sorry. Terrence Myers says, "Where's the boot, Marshall?" Boot's right here, brother. Boot's here. I said if we got to 500 today, I'd do a boot. I'm going to do this, though. If anyone sends in a $100 super chat, we're going to be live for 4 more minutes. We're signing off at 7:30. It's 7:26. If someone sends in a $100 super chat, I'll do the boot. I'll do the boot. Terrence Myers, there it is, brother. Harry Balzic says, what's the move with Jacob Toppin? Also, Keel sucks. Toppin is on an Exhibit 10 deal, pretty much a tryout for training camp, and it sounds like Keels is going to be on a two-way deal. One of the two-way players, though, is going to get cut, or they're going to have to make him a full-time player. So...
Did you choose Tristan Jackson as your pick?
Who
right
is
here?
that?
Dude, he didn't even make the Vikings roster. He's like a practice squad wide receiver. What is going on, Josh?
This is elite.
I think this is Tristan Jackson. I think I'm tripping who this is.
How are my stats
This is
flawed
Tristan
when they're
Jackson.
not? They're stats from NBA.com. Kevin, thanks for watching the show, bro. Mike. Oh, my gosh.
Dude, I haven't heard that one. I thought I wasn't going to say I thought you were about to get baited.
I have never heard this one.
I've never heard this one either. But Crib's dad.
Mike.
Appreciate it.
Electric Mike. Electric Mike.
He's hurt.
He says, I am injured, but I will still play with Seeps and Marsh. That's why you're a real one,
God
Mike.
damn it.
You're a real one, Mike. Holy shit. Mike, we appreciate it. Then he come back and said, I am open for some threes. Shout out to you, Crimmy. We love you. Good to see you back. Always funnier and better when you're in the chat, my man. We appreciate you.
It's not true, Kevin.
Kevin, I'm embarrassed for you, brother. I'm embarrassed. I'm
I don't even
embarrassed
wanna
for you.
entertain it anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Pamela. Back watching where we did a Julius Randle weigh-in. That's hell. That's hilarious. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. All righty, 2 more minutes. If anyone sends in a $100 super chat, we're going to do the boot. If not, we're going to sign off on today's video. Shout out to you guys. I just don't understand. Like, how can you possibly hate on Grimes? He plays the game the right way. Like, you don't have to be a huge fan of him. Like, he just plays the game the right way. He does what he's asked. He guards the other team's best offensive player every single night. He doesn't beg for the ball. Quite frankly, he doesn't get the ball enough. And
Also,
he excels in his role.
Also, being that efficient at such a young age, that's incredible.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Like, that's why I'm a huge Tyrese Maxey guy, because he's so young and he's 20. Like, I don't know, all the guys that say RJ Barrett's only 23, like, Grimes has only played, what, 1 real season? He's pretty much
Yeah, he
hurt.
didn't play that much his rookie year.
So he's played 1 year, and he's already kind of solidified himself as
Keith, you said he's too soft, but how did he steal the ball from Jimmy Butler with the game on the line if he was too soft?
And that's also like, calling somebody soft is like,
Is it
I don't
because
know.
he's light-skinned?
yeah.
Like, that's kind of the nature we see on Twitter. People make fun of, whatever. I'm not even getting into that. Mike says Grimes needs to shoot more. Mike Boy, I appreciate your comments today, brother.
Mike.
You may not love him, and you're being objective, which I appreciate. All righty, we're going to sign off on today's show. I guess no boot today. No boot for the gang. That's okay. All righty, we're going to sign off on today's show. Shout out to you guys. Good stream today. We'll see you later.